Hello everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today, they have announced the next box. I had the rare ingeniousness to not even look at my DMs. I just thought, okay, I know there's going to be a new box. Let me check Duel Links meta before I do anything else. I see the set. So this is literally a completely blind reaction. The only thing I know is that the card art is Scarlet Red or Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Okay. So let's take a look and let's see what the new cards are. Scarred Resonance. The Scarred Resonance is a speed main box released on March 26th. Okay, so it's either already out or it's coming out later today. First up, we have Scarred Dragon Archfiend, which is a level 8 Dark Synchro monster. It requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner Dark monsters. Level 8, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. This card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your X deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Then if this card was sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Dark Dragon synchro monster, you could destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. You can only use this effective Scarred Dragon Archfiend once per turn. That is fantastic. So, Scarred Dragon Archfiend is well, I say it's fantastic. It's a really good card, not gonna lie. But the problem is that you need to actually have a target. There's no other synchro monsters in the box that we could make. I can see 2 other synchro monsters. They're both level 8. So, okay. That is actually not good. Scarred Dragon Archfiend is not powerful enough to... because if Scarred Dragon Archfiend is the only card that we're getting, then we don't get... The only card that we could make is Red Nova Dragon. And I was worried about that because the skill mentions Red Nova Dragon by name. And Red Nova Dragon doesn't have any interruption. And even if you make... So let's say you make Red Nova Dragon with Scarred Dragon Archfiend, right? And then Red Dragon Archfiend comes out. And you could potentially try and synchro something else with it. What else are you going to make? You can't leave Red Dragon Archfiend on the board because it will destroy your Red Nova Dragon. So, is there a bundle? Okay, yeah, there is a bundle. Okay. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Okay. Alright, there's a bundle. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss makes the deck much better. Limit 1, 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner Dark Dragon Synchro monster. As a quick effect, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, negates effects till the end of the turn. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 1 tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon in defense position. Okay, never mind. There we go. That's what we needed. We needed 1 card that we could make that was beyond level 8. So now what you can do is you make your Scarred Dragon Archfiend into Red Nova Dragon, then your Red Dragon Archfiend can combine with a level 1 tuner to make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Is that good? Not really. You have 1 negate, but it's better than nothing. We still need 2 targets to make this good, but at the very least, it's better than what Resonators have been doing. It's a good starting point, I'll say that. The cards are good. The cards are very good, but the end board being weak doesn't help. Soul Resonator, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, except Soul Resonator. Also, you cannot special summon from the X deck for the rest of the turn except Dark Synchro monsters. If a card you control will be destroyed by a card effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effective Soul Resonator once per turn. Okay, cool. So, Soul Resonator is a great card for the Red Dragon Archfiend deck. It allows you to just draw your Bone Archfiend and immediately synchro summon into a level 8. And looks like Acute Cerberus is a SR. So, yeah, this is a lot less Tindangles than I was expecting in this box. RDA, Dinos, and DDD. Definitely not what I was expecting, but I guess this is good for some people. Terrors of the Overroot. Target one card your opponent controls and one card in the graveyard. Send that card on the field to the graveyard, and if you do set the other card from the graveyard to your opponent's field, you can only activate one Terrors of the Overroot per turn. This card's already been in the game. This card took way too long to come out. This card came out after a lot of other cards that have been in mini boxes. It has been, I think, it's definitely been over a year. I feel like it was almost 2 years. Yes, September 28th, 2023. We almost hit the 2-year mark for this card being in a mini box, which is crazy. They really should have released this card a lot sooner. I don't know what they were doing. This card is mid, but there's a skill for it, so it'll probably be decent. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, level 8 Synchro Monster. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon one level 2 or lower tuner monster from your graveyard. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon using one Synchro monster you control, using monsters you control as material. This turn, the monster Synchro Summon by this effect is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You can only activate the effect of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon once per turn. We were hoping that Junk Speeder was coming with the skill that we got. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon is a good card, but again, we don't really have any good targets at the moment. Typically, Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon is used to make Baron de Fleur, which we don't have. So I guess what we're going to make instead is probably Stardust Warrior. And Stardust Warrior is a good card, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to win the game for you. Negating one summon is not going to win the game for you. So, yeah, this is weak. The skill is good, but if we're not getting any new Synchro cards, then I mean, I know that we're going to get On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel, which I don't see anywhere. Where is On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel? Did they add level ups? If they added level ups, that's important. Did they increase the level ups for people? No. It's not in the mini box, is it? Oh my god, they put the skill card in a mini box? Okay, hold on, let's see. What's in this mini box? Final Bringer of the End Times, IP Masquerena. Oh, they put Fossil Dig in the... Wow, that's insane. They put a card that's already in the game in a mini box? That is awful. Logia and Hot Red Dragon Orange Fiend Bane. So they're reprinting the cards that you need to play the deck in a mini box as opposed to giving us a deck building box. Alright, there's only 5 new cards in this box, so let me go over these real quick. Final Bringer of the End Times. Target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls and destroy them. That is a really, that's a really new card, but the effect is, you know, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not amazing. This will most likely see a ton of play in Unchained and very little else. Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. This card sees play all the time, and to this day, I don't know what it's for. Let me read it real quick. Every time I read this card, I think, why do people play this? If your opponent special summons a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Draw cards equal to the number of Link monsters your opponent controls plus 1. Then shuffle cards from your hand into the deck equal to the number of Link monsters they control. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, as a quick effect, you can discard one card to get the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Yeah, it seems... I mean... it's okay, I guess. Being able to pop a card, but you can only special summon it if your opponent special summons a Link monster, which they probably won't do. I don't know what the hype around this card is. It's weird. Fossil Dig. This is not a new card. Add one level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so, yeah, okay, so if you want to play dinos, great. So you're gonna have to go into a box for a card that we already have. So I guess this means this card is going to be released as a real card later? That's crazy. What other dinosaur support are they going to give us where they're going to give us Foster? I guess since it's level 6 or lower, this is probably going to be paired with the Transcend cards. So I guess the Transcend cards are coming out within a year. That's cool, I suppose. On your mark, get set duel when this card's activated. If you control none of the cards, you can add one Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn during your standby phase, place one signal counter on this card. You can remove 2 signal counters from this card, send this card to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, and send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. I mean, okay, so you, so if you want to even use the Synchron skill, you have to go into a Super Mini to get an SR. How big is the Super Mini again? I don't remember. 30 packs? That's a lot of gems. IP Masquerena, 2 non-link monsters. Okay, so if you don't know how this card works, it's a really good card. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. A link monster that uses this card as a material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So IP Masquerena is typically used to make SP Little Knight and make her indestructible for as long as she remains on the board, which is not very long. But we don't have SP Little Knight, so we will probably use this to make Nightmare Unicorn, which is perfectly fine. Like if you're you can make IP Masquerena, pass to your opponent, and then link summon Nightmare Unicorn during their turn, so you can destroy 1 card they control, or not destroy it, shuffle a card on their field into the deck. Is this intended to be part of the dinosaur end board? Maybe. Since they didn't give us Dolka, maybe that's what we're supposed to do. They reprinted Signal Warrior. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. This is a trash mini. I don't know what I don't know what they're expecting. I guess they're really banking that people want to play dinosaurs and Stardust. But they didn't give us any new cards for the Stardust deck, so I don't know that it's going to generate that much hype. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the wait, guys. 1 second. Okay, back to the box. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard. Once per turn during either player's main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or on your field. If you do, change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If you do, send that defense position monster to the graveyard. Okay, so I was hoping for a deck building box because I knew there were going to be a lot of reprints, but I guess they didn't feel the need to reprint any SRs because Baby Ceratosaurus is a rare. Yeah, so they just got the chance to put it in a box. That is unfortunate. That means that if you want to play this deck, you're going to have to go into Truth Universe to get your 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus. Although I guess since a selection box came out, so that means that they released the other selection boxes. So I guess you could technically try and dig in the selection box that Miscellaneousaurus came out in and get it there. Wow, that's unfortunate. Okay. That's rough. Okay, so the set is out now, which I was not expecting. I still have 15 levels to go on Tyranno, and they did not reprint Double Evolution Pill. Well, then I'm sorry, guys. I worked really hard on this, but it looks like my dinosaur video will be delayed a couple of days at least. I apologize. This card's really good. But if we're not getting Evolzar Dolka, then or any of the Transcend cards or anything else, it looks like they're giving us Doodle Beasts to make up for this, but I mean, they know Doodle Beasts aren't going to be good. That's why they're making Tyranno a rare. Then they printed Jirac Impact as a limited 1 trap. and Jurassic Impact. Okay. Well then, give me a couple days. I'll get this working. The Hidden City. When this card is activated, you can add one Subterror monster from your deck to your hand. Limit 3 once per turn. You can change one face down defense position monster to face up attack or defense position once per turn when your opponent's monster declares an attack. You can change one face down defense position Subterror monster you control to face up attack or defense position, then you can negate the attack. You can only activate one of the Hidden City per turn. Fair. It's a good effect. Springin's Watch. Yeah, finally we get a Springin's card. That was the whole point of the box, right? Add one Great Sand Sea Gold Golgonda from your deck to your hand. If Great Sand Sea Gold Golgonda is in your field zone, you can apply this effect instead. Add one Springin's monster from your deck to your hand. If you do, spend one Springin's monster from the deck to the graveyard. You can only activate one Springin's Watch per turn. Okay, so it's a search card. We'll add Gold Golgonda, which is okay, I guess. And if you already have Gold Golgonda, it will... there's Gold Golgonda. If you already have Gold Golgonda, it searches a Springin's card, and it looks like we're not getting Gigantic Champion Sargus yet, which is their boss monster. Are we even getting Tally-Ho? Like, Tally-Ho isn't up here. Tally-Ho is not a UR. Tally-Ho is not an SR. Did they put Tally-Ho somewhere down here? No, we're not getting Tally-Ho either. Okay. Then Springin's is going to be trash. Okay. Soul Eating Oviraptor. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take one dinosaur monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can target one other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field, destroy it, then special summon one dinosaur monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can only use each effect of Soul Eating Oviraptor once per turn. Okay, so dinosaurs are as expensive as I feared. So you need 3 copies of this card, which means that they go through this box 3 times. I was hoping it would be a deck building box, and then I had privately shared with a few people that I thought they were going to release Transcendent this time, and then you would have to go through Transcend 3 times. You would have to go through this main box 3 times to get all the Transcend cards, and then the deck building box 3 times to go through to get all the new cards, the Oviraptor and the UCT. And that would end up being 34,500 gems, which would be really expensive. But as it turns out, instead, they're making it so that you have to go through this box 3 times to get Oviraptor. Then you also have to go through Truth Universe 3 times to get Miscellaneousaurus, which means that the deck is 54,000 gems, which is... I do not have that. Okay. Yeah, I miscalculated a little bit. All right. Oviraptor is really good. The skill makes it so that you can pop your opponent's monsters to revive, which is powerful. Basically the effect of Lost World, which is a field spell that they're not giving us. I don't know why they're not going to give us Lost World. I guess because it's a floodgate. But, yay. Double D Lamaya, level 1 Fiend Tuner monster. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one DD or one Dark Contract card from your hand, or face up field to the graveyard, except DD Lamaya. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's a good card. You will use it with the new skill to try and make Siegfried, which is a okay monster card. And I don't know the exact line that DDs are going to use for this, but I am sure that it will function just fine. Crimson Gaia. During your main phase, you can add one Red Dragon Archfiend or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except Crimson Gaia, which will be your Soul Resonator if you don't have it. And if you do have it, you'll probably get either Vision Resonator or Fiendish Golem. When your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Of course, Red Dragon Archfiend has an effect where When it attacks after the damage step, destroy all defense position monsters your opponent controls. So you can literally board wipe if your opponent has no link monsters. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. That's hilarious. Basically makes it so that your opponent can't deal with your board very effectively, since if your cards are destroyed, you just bring back your Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Then if they remove Scarred Dragon Archfiend destroys every card on the field. Oh, well, no, that's if you Synchro Summon. Okay, yeah. But if they remove Scarred Dragon Archfiend, you at least get another Red Dragon Archfiend from extra deck. So you'll probably play 2 RDAs. They didn't reprint RDA. Wait. What the heck? They didn't reprint RDA? Not in the mini box either. How are new players supposed to play this deck? What the heck is going on? They didn't reprint Red Dragon Archfiend and they didn't reprint Miscellaneousaurus? This is terrible. Okay. Well. Okay, at least with Red Dragon Archfiend, you can get the alternate art in a structure deck. So if you want to play this deck and you don't have Red Dragon Archfiend, I believe you can just pay 500 gems for it. Right? Yes, there's a structure deck called King's Resonance that you can use, that you can buy this card in. So Red Dragon Archfiend, not a super big deal, but I think it's from a box that's old enough that you would need to spend money to get your second copy, and I imagine it will be a 2-of with Scarred Dragon Archfiend. So. Fiendish Golem, target one monster on the field with 2,000 or more attack points, banish it until the end phase of the next turn. Then if you activate this card while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, you can set one Fiendish Chain directly from your deck or graveyard. Fiendish Chain is a continuous trap that negates a monster effect and prevents the monster from attacking, and they didn't reprint that either. So is this in a selection box? Okay, yes, this is in a selection box. They really are expecting that we go into a selection box multiple times. Is this selection box the one that has a Miscellaneousaurus in it? It has Stardust Dragon. This is like a huge selection box. What the heck? It has Gilosaurus. It's funny. Yeah, so they are expecting you to just like either have this card already or go into a. What is going on with these skills, where they're just not reprinting cards that are necessary to use the skills, and they're really old. Where's Miskin? Misk is in Selection Box Mini Volume 4. This selection box is pretty big. At least Evolzar Logia is in it. Oof. Rough. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I really thought dinosaurs would be cheap and easy. I feel like Konami dropped the ball on this one a little bit. Okay. Fiendish Golem is really good if you have Fiendish Chain, and if you don't, then sorry. Tindangle Acute Cerberus requires 3 Tindangle monsters, 0 attack points. Gains 3,000 attack if you have 3 or more Tindangle monsters with different names in your graveyard, including a Tindangle-based Gardna. Gains 500 attack points for each Tindangle monster it points to. At the end of the battle phase, this card declared an attack. You can special summon 1 Tindangle token with 0 attack points. Okay, so this card is awful. If Tindangles become any sort of threat at all, just play DD Crow. They attack into your monster, you chain DD Crow, their monster attack points goes from 3,000 to 0, and then you win the game. So, there you go. Subterra Guru, alright, I know that everyone's excited about this card. Cool, Subterra Guru is an SR, so I think the skill does something with Hidden City. Does the skill search it for you? I don't know that you need 3 copies of Hidden Cities, so maybe you can build Subterrors with run through this box. Earth, Dragon Monster, flip, you can add 1 Subterror card from your deck to your hand except Subterror Guru. And you target one other face-up monster on the field, change that card and this card to face down defense position. This is a quick effect if you control another Subterror card. You can only use effective Subterror Guru once per turn. So Guru is a very powerful control tool that allows you to constantly get more resources and control your board very effectively. It's like a huge part of the the Subterror deck. So the fact that we finally got it means that Subterror players can actually play the game really well. Subterrors will be infinitely better than Tindangles. So if you want to play Subterrors, now's your time. They give us the Link Monster? No. Good. They reprinted Kaina. There you go. Pot of Avarice. Sure. Neither of these cards is particularly interesting. I don't think there's a single card that you would use deck that you would use Pot of Avarice in with this box. So it has no synergy. And then Kaina, Sky Striker players continue to lose. Get wrecked. You dig through this box that has no other Sky Striker cards in it. Not even reprints, it looks like. Yeah, get wrecked. If you want to play Sky Strikers, you don't have Kaina yet. Enjoy digging through this box that has nothing else in it for Sky Strikers. Yay. Spring and Ship X-Blower, 2 level 8s or more. You could choose one of your opponent's main monster zones or spell and trap zones to attach any number of materials from this card. If you do, destroy the same number of cards your opponent controls in that chosen zone and adjacent monster zones or spell and trap zones. Okay, so let's see. If X-Blower has 2 materials, you can attach 2 cards. You choose one of your opponent's zones. You destroy the card that's in that zone, and then 1 card in an adjacent zone. So you can pop like a monster and a spell and trap that's below the monster. You can pop a link monster and the monster it points to. A few other things. During your opponent's main phase or battle phase, as a quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase, and then of course when it comes back it has no materials. You can only use each effect of Springham's X-Blower once per turn. It only has 1600 attack points, which means that it is very reliant on the field spell, which gives all Springham's Xyz monsters 1000 attack points. So Springham's all have the effect to like attach themselves to Xyz monsters, so you can easily like charge up your X-Blower to destroy a bunch of cards or continue to destroy cards, but that's not really all that amazing. I guess it's a little bit easier for Springham's to actually get the win when there's only 4000 life points, but still, I mean, if the only monster they have has 2600 attack points, and that's only as long as they control a field spell, you're going to have a hard time closing out games with this deck. And before you ask, cool, where's the level 8s? There's 1, I believe. Yes, there's 1 level 8. Springham's do not Xyz summon like normal decks. Their field spell says, if you control no Springham's Xyz monsters, you can discard a Springham's card to special summon an Xyz monster from your extra deck. So you summon Blower with no materials, and then since you special summon it as an Xyz, like as a field spell effect, that means you can't revive it either. So if your opponent just removes it from your board, then you have to discard another card to summon another one. I think is that once per turn? Yes, it is once per turn. So yeah, you summon X-Blower by discarding a card, then your opponent just simply, I don't know, Void Trap holes it, and then your turn ends because you can't Xyz summon again because you don't play an Xyz deck. Yeah. Keep that in mind if you want to play Springham's. You do not. Why is it written like that? Okay, I don't know. Keep in mind if you want to play Springham's, they do not Xyz summon, and they need their field spell to be out live to even play the game. So if your opponent MSTs your field spell, you don't have any way to make your boss monster, and then you just lose the game. Subterror Fiendus. When your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Target one Subterror monster you control, negate the activation, and then change the targeted monster to face down defensive position. That's really good. It's an Omni Negate as a hand trap, which is insane, actually. any card or effect, you can just pitch it, and then as long as you have a Subterror monster to target, you book your own monster and you negate the effect. You target one face-up monster you control, change it to face-down defense position. If you do, special summon one Subterror monster from hand or graveyard in face-up or face-down defense position. So yeah, Phoenix is a really, really good card. Play it at 3. You guys know what kind of Pot of Avarice do. Double D Necro Slime. If this card is in your graveyard, you can fusion summon one DDD fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your graveyard, including this card. So it's basically Swirl Slime, but from the graveyard, which is fine. Triple D Cursed King Siegfried. Level 8 requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner DD monsters. During either player's turn, you can target one face-up spell or trap on the field. That card has its effects negated until the next standby phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points for each dark contract card you control. Okay, so Siegfried is similar to a lot of other Triple D cards in that it has an effect that basically prevents you from dying to your own dark contract cards. At some points, they really need to go and errata the dark contract cards to only deal half damage to players. 1,000 damage per turn is way too much for 4,000 life points. But for right now, they're not doing that. And it's, I mean, you can either waste your negate on... No, it doesn't even work. Yeah, okay, because it's until the next standby phase. So the next standby phase would mean that you take the damage. So you have to use this effect if you want to die. If you want to avoid dying, you have to use this effect to negate one of your dark contracts on your turn, like during your draw phase, and then you can't even use the effect, and you just you don't take the damage, but you also can't even use the effect. So, not a great effect to prevent you from dying to your own card. And then, of course, it also has the ability to negate your opponent's spells and traps, which is, I guess, maybe more of the intended use of it, but, yeah, as far as keeping you from dying to your own cards, doesn't work too well. I mean, it's a fine effect to negate one of your opponent's spells and traps, and then you can use, Flame High King Genghis to negate spells and traps during your turn as well. So between the two of them, you'll be able to stop a lot of spells and traps, but of course, monster effects are still a thing. So I haven't looked at the new skill too closely for Triple Ds because I wasn't expecting them to get any new cards. I didn't think they could fit them, but I guess they're only printing 3. Wow, they really gave Triple D, DDD, 3 cards out of this new box in the UR and SR slot. That's crazy. I haven't looked at the new skill too closely, but with these 3 cards, I'm sure the deck will do just fine. There's Animadorn Darkosaur. If this card is normal or special summon, you can destroy 1 dinosaur monster in your hand or in your field, and then add 1 reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast monster with that same original level, or 1 evolution pill spell from your deck to your hand. So you'll pop one of your monsters in your hand, and you'll add a double evolution pill, and you'll be fine. Vision Resonator. If a level 5 or higher dark monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Vision Resonator once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Good card. Very powerful effect. Its special summon effect requires a monster on the field, not a monster you control. So if your opponent has a level 5 or higher dark monster, you can special summon this card. It's pretty good. They did not reprint Crimson. I don't think Crimson was in the selection box. I'm having to constantly jump between these 2 boxes because Yelm is not working with me here. They reprinted Resonator Call, but they did not reprint Crimson Resonator. Wow. That's a slap in the face. Okay, so, I guess if you want to play this game, this deck, you need to go buy a structure deck to get Red Dragon Archfiend, then you'll need to spend a dream ticket to get Crimson Resonator. Great. Okay. Bone Archfiend. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Special summon this card. Also, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Dark Dragon Synchro monsters. You target one face-up monster you control that has a level. Send one Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard. If you do, increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. You can only use effect once per turn. Okay, so here's the combo. Normal summon Soul Resonator, add Bone Archfiend, pitch a card, special summon itself. Soul Resonator is level 4, Bone Archfiend is level 3. Bone Archfiend effect, you mill Crimson Resonator from your deck. Change Soul Resonator to level 2. Synchro into Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon, revive the Crimson Resonator. Crimson Resonator, special summon 2 monsters from your deck. And then what you can do is you'll special summon 2 level 2s, so that'll be Vision Resonator and I guess Red Resonator, and then you gain 2200 life points. Then you Synchro Summon into Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Then you Synchro Summon again into Red Nova Dragon. Since Vision Resonator goes to the graveyard, you can add Crimson Gaia from your deck to your hand. Activate Crimson Gaia to add Fiendish Golem from your deck to your hand. And then you have Red Dragon Archfiend, and I guess you'll need to hope that you have a level 1 tuner that you can special summon in order to go into your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. I don't know if the skill lets you do that. I assume the skill gets you Resonator. Let's see. Tinnagle Doles, Tinnagle Base Guard 9, Nagle's Protection. I guess these are his level up cards. These are not the skills. Where are the skills at? They're on this page. Have the skills not been released yet? Oh no, wait, no, they're over here. Right. Send one card from your hand, one card you control to the graveyard. Play Red Dragon Archfiend face down. Oh, that's right. I forgot that you could do that. That's right. The skill lets you play Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck, but it doesn't. They didn't print Red Dragon Archfiend again. Wow, man, this is annoying. Okay. Well. Back to it, I guess. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's a line. I'm sure there's something that I'm missing as to how you can search a level 1. Well, okay, maybe you don't. Since you can play RDA, I mean, why would you want to play RDA from your extra deck when you have Scarred? What's the point of that? Are you going to make 3? Is that the point? What would you even make? There's no other quick effects that we have. I mean, it's a joke to call Red Nova Dragon a quick effect, but still. I'm at a loss, guys. I don't know what the point of this is. That skill is weird. All right. Doodle Beast Tyranno. You contribute summon this card by attributing 1 dinosaur monster. During the main phase, if a dinosaur monster is on the field, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, tribute summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special as normal summon, you can destroy 1 monster on the field. Then if this card was tribute summoned by attributing a dual beast monster, it gains attack equal to half the attack of the destroyed monster had on the field. Right, so we have Stego. Where is Stego at? Hold on, let me think. Okay, so I've never thought about doing this before because it was stupid, but if these are the cards that we have, here's what you can do. Petite Ranodon, destroyed, Special summon Stego from your deck. Then Stego adds Doodlebook from your deck to your hand. Then you can, during your opponent's turn, you can banish from your graveyard, add Tyranno from your deck to your hand, and then you can tribute summon Tyranno during your opponent's turn by tributing your Stego. And then Tyranno's effect is, if this card is normal summon, you can destroy one monster on the field. Then if this card was tribute summoned by tributing a Doodle Beast monster, it gains attack equal to half the destroyed monster that had on the field permanently. So, that's a pop. Oh, okay. That's good. I mean, that's another destroy effect during your opponent's turn. Okay. I really wasn't expecting the Dual Beast cards as support, but cool. That's useful. So what's your end board? Tyranno, Logia, and Stego? That's not the worst end board. That's a solemn judgment. Solemn Judgment plus a Roroku effect that also destroys a card, and then you can Book of Eclipse. We still have Misk. Yeah. This is going to be a powerful deck. It's just going to be more expensive than I was expecting. Cool. You know, I can make this work. It's just going to take me a minute. Terrors in the Hidden City. Your opponent cannot target face-down monsters you control with card effects. Monsters you control that were flipped face-up while this card was face-up on the field gain 1500 attack and defense points. If this card in its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one monster in your graveyard and special summon it in face-down defense position. Okay, all pretty good effects. I mean, the main thing is that you, hey, your Subterror monsters gain 1500 attack points. So, like, your Subterror Guru will be 3100 attack points. Crazy. Flower Dino, Earth monster, level 4, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by its own effect, so you can't special summon it with Petite Ranodon. You can only use the following effects of Flower Dino once per turn. If you activate a trapper card or effect, or your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 3 banished spells or traps, place them on the bottom of the appropriate decks in any order, then draw 1 card. This is not good. This card will never see any play, but it makes the most sense to print it in a dinosaur box, so there you go. Tri-Brigade Rendezvous. Quick play spell card. Target any number of linked Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monsters you control. They gain 700 attack until the end of the turn. If a linked Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. I don't know why they didn't give us this card before, but fair enough. If you want to play this in Tri-Brigades, here you go. Dig through a box for a rare. Tindangle Delani. When you take battle damage from an opponent's attacking monster while you have 3 or more Tindangle cards with different names in your graveyard, you can destroy the attacking monster. If you do, special summon a cute Cerberus from your extra deck. If you control no monsters in the extra monster zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 3 Tindangle monsters with different names in your graveyard and special summon them in face-down defense position. Okay, this is the only good Tindangle card, and it's not limit 1, which I thought it might be. They limited 1 Dirac Impact instead because dinosaurs are a good deck and this isn't. So, I mean, this is fine, I guess. I don't think there's a way to search it though. So I guess play it at 3 and hope you draw it. Supreme Sovereign Serpent of Golgonda. Oh, I forgot. There is a lot of other level 8s, I guess, technically, in Springans. Level 8 Fire Reptile. While Great Sand Sea Golgonga is on the field, this card's original attack becomes 3,000. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. While this card is in your hand or graveyard, if you control a face-up card in your field zone, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. If Great Sand Sea Golgonda on the field will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish 1 monster from your graveyard instead. Okay, I apologize. I did forget that this card is, I guess, technically is in the Springans deck. So you do play 2 8s. This card can special summon itself. I don't remember if this card can. No, so Sargus can't special summon itself. So you still can't. So you still can't make a rank 8. Right. Subterror Succession. Activate this card. One of these effects. Also, after this, set this card instead of sending it to the graveyard. Send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. If you do, add one flip monster from your deck to your hand with the same attribute but different name as that monster before it was sent to the graveyard. Send one flip monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. If you do, add one monster from your deck with that same attribute but a lower original level. Okay, cool. I mean, this is good. Yeah, you know, you pitch a card and then you add a different card from your deck to the hand, and you want to pitch cards because the level 4 that is not Guru, what is its name? Subterror Nemesis Warrior. Yeah. Subterror Nemesis Warrior. During either player's turn, you can send one Subterror monster from your deck to the graveyard, tribute this card and at least one other monster, so the total original levels tributed equal or exceed the level of that monster in the graveyard. If you do, special summon that monster in defense position. Oh, wait, never mind. It mills the card that you want to revive as part of the effect. Well, then in that case, I don't know what the benefit of pitching cards from your hand is. Do Subterrors have some other revive effect? I don't think so. No. Oh, they printed Fiendus as a neutral rarity card. Ah, check it out, guys. Your super cool boss monster. It's neutral rarity. Cool. I was thinking they didn't print it. That's good. Okay. I apologize. My knowledge of Subterrors is limited. I don't know what this card is for. Springen's Merrymaker. Rank 4 requires 2 level 4s. If this card is special summoned from your extra deck, you can send one Springen's monster from your deck to the graveyard. During your opponent's main or battle phase, you can banish this card until the end phase. Then if you banish this card with 2 or more materials, you can send one fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard that lists Fallen of Albaz's material, which would be the Sprind the Iron Dash Dragon, which is a level 8 machine fusion monster. Requires Fallen of Albaz plus an effect monster that was special summoned this turn. During your main phase, you can move this card to another of your main monster zones, and you can destroy all other face-up cards in the column. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon one Springen's monster or one Fallen of Albaz from your deck. Okay, so you special summon either... Okay, so this is how you can potentially summon Captain Sargas, and then if you summon Captain Sargas with Sprind the Iron Dash Dragon, then you have your Supreme Serpent of Golgonda already on the field. You can Xyz summon into Explorer. Okay, so... So you make Merrymaker, you banish Merrymaker, then you send Sprind special summon Sargas during your opponent's end phase. Then you can special summon your Golgonda, and then you can make Explorer on, like, turn 3. Okay, I get it now. This card's bad. Springen's Captain Sargas. Level 8 Fire Machine Monster. If this card is in your hand, field, or graveyard, you target when Springen's Xyz monster you control, attach it to his materials. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can detach one material from an Xyz monster you control. They target when face-up card on the field and destroy it. So, it has an effect. It has an effect that requires it to be on the field, but it has no way to get on the field. Interesting. A Springen's Xyz monster that has this card's material gains this effect. This card gains 500 attack points. Okay, so if Sargas is used to make Explorer and you also have Grand Sea Golgonga on the field, then Explorer's attack points are 3,100, as long as it has materials, which it won't for long. That's fine. Springen's Blast. Springen's have a trap card? I've never seen this before. If you control a Springen's monster, choose one opponent's main monster zone. If monster is in that zone, during this turn it cannot attack directly. Also, its effects are negated. If there's no monster in that zone, it cannot be used this turn. If you control a fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material, you can choose 2 zones instead. That's funny. Cool, you can lock down 2 of your opponent's zones. Wow, that's actually really good. That can potentially prevent your opponent from even link summoning. Cool. I imagine that this does not work with skills, unfortunately. So this card's really good, but even if you lock down 2 of your opponent's zones, I imagine that the skills don't account for that. So your opponent could probably activate an effect that sets their Red Dragon Archfiend from their extra deck to the main monster zone, and they choose one of the zones that you lock down, and then they still get to Synchro Summon. So sadly, because of how skills work these days, I imagine this card will not do as much as you want it to, which is probably why it's a rare. Petite Ranodon. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon one level 4 or higher dinosaur monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. Not once per turn and mandatory. Really good card. This lets you special summon Doodle Beast Stego so that you can get your Doodle Beast Tyranno and pop your card during your opponent's turn. Cool. Crusadia Leonis. Oh, I think this was... Why are they saying this card is new? Wasn't this card printed somewhere else? No, it wasn't. They really take them this long to print Leonis? Okay, Crusadia players, you want to play Leonis? Here it is. You can special summon this card from your hand in defense position to a zone your Link monster points to. You can target one Crusadia Link monster you control. If it attacks a defense position monster, this turn, inflict piercing. You can only use this effect with Leonis once per turn. So Leonis is a really good card because Crusadia needs all the names they can get. So this is actually a huge buff to Crusadia players because they've been missing this card for so long. Funny. Sabersaurus, Evo Singularity, Evo Force, a bunch of Evolzar cards, Evolutionary Bridge, Double D Arc, Dark Contract with Yami Makai, King Maxwell, Savant Thomas, Lilith, Marksman King Tal, and Baby Sabersaurus. Baby Sabersaurus, if this card is destroyed by a card effect and set to the graveyard, special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. Okay, this is cool. They're printing a bunch of Evoltal and Evolzar cards, but they don't mean anything because you can't play reptiles anyway, so. The Cuckoo commanded to croon. What? What is this? The Cuckoo commanded to croon. Level 3 Fire Wing Beast. You can activate one of these effects. Destroy this card, then draw one card. Discard one card, then draw one card. During the end phase of this turn, draw one card. You can only use this effect with the Cuckoo commanded to croon once per turn. Okay? It's a meme. Funny. I just realized that we got to the neutral rarity section and we've seen like one Spring and Scar. They really don't expect this deck to do anything. Yeah, like all the other Spring and cards are down here. Turbo Tainted Hot Rod at GT19. Level 3 Fire Machine Flip Tuner Monster. Flip, you can declare a level between 1 and 9. This card becomes that level until the end of the turn. After this card's been flipped face up during any main phase, you can target one other face up monster on the field. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one monster using only this card in that target. Wait, what? Okay. Flip monsters are hilarious. so, if you successfully flip summon this card, you choose its level, and then during your opponent's turn, you can just target one of their monsters and then rip it off their board synchro summon using this card. That's insane. That's so funny. That's... Please. Please, with the new skill for just a flip deck, someone make this card work. Please. Get to King of Games by, like, stealing your opponent's Salamangreat cards and making some nonsense during their turn. Please, I will play the deck if someone hits King of Games with Hot Rod GT19, I will play their deck. I promise. Bayrock Dragon, level 6 Earth Dinosaur Monster. If a monster you control or in your hand is destroyed by a battle card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one other dinosaur and rock monster in your graveyard and special summon them. You can only use each effect of Bayrock Dragon once per turn. I mean, it's a level 6 dinosaur monster that you can use special summon from your hand, which means that you could potentially use it to make your Evolzar Solda, but we don't have any other level 6s that we could use with that, so... Doesn't seem like very likely. Final Cross. Quick play spell card. During your turn, if a synchro monster was sent to the graveyard to your graveyard this turn, target one synchro monster you control can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Also, if you activate this effect by targeting a synchro monster with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in its original name, you can gain attack points equal to the attack of one synchro monster in your graveyard. You can only activate one Final Cross per turn. Okay, so Final Cross is designed to reward you for synchro climbing, but it's not really worth playing because you can usually get lethal anyway, and you don't really want to like have a hard draw this card when you could be hard drawing materials. So I don't imagine that this card will see any play. Doodlebook, Trap card, when your dinosaur monster is targeted for an attack, negate the attack, then you can special summon one Doodle Beast from your graveyard. If you do, it cannot be destroyed by battle, but destroyed during the end phase. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to add one level 5 or higher Doodle dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Stego, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are dinosaurs, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal special summon, you can add one Doodle Book, spell or trap from your deck to your hand, then discard a card. Okay, yeah, so. Petite Ranodon, summon this card, draw your trap card, discard it, then during your opponent's turn, banish it, add Tyranno. Tyranno's effect during the main phase is a quick effect. You can tribute summon this card by tributing one dinosaur monster, so yeah. And then you pop a card, so. A very effective little package, but the problem is it's 3 cards, and it's 3 cards, and you only have a 20 card deck, so yes, this is very good, but if you open the then it doesn't work at all unless you were willing to play 2 which would be awful. But maybe you'll have to. Maybe this deck will be so reliant on this combo that you'll have to play 2 so if you open the first you could still draw the second because you can't discard a card without a target. You have to actually add a from your deck to your hand. By the way, if you guys are wondering, like, it adds a Doodle Book spell trap. Doodle Book is the only Doodle Book card that's been printed so far. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, it seems good, but I'll have to like play around with the consistency, the numbers and ratios. I'll let you know. Oradora of Fate. Pay 1,000 life points. Target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. If it does, apply its effect until the end of your opponent's turn. Each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can reveal the bottom card of your deck and place it on the top and bottom of your deck. If the revealed card was a dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm, draw one card for each of the 1,000 attack points of that monster, then gain 1,000 life points for each card drawn. What? Oh, hold on. Each time your UCT destroys a monster by battle, you reveal the bottom card of your deck, and if it's dinosaur, you place on top of your deck, you draw 3 cards, then you gain 3,000 life points. That's insane. It's a really funny effect. Don't do this. You'll deck yourself out. But I mean, I guess Dino Exodia? Dino Exodia, guys? You could play Dino Exodia. That'd be pretty funny. Terrifying Toddler of Torment. A level 3 Dark Fiend monster flip effect. You can send one Fiend from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon this card in face down defense position. Alright, so if you pitch this card to use an effect, then you can set it. Really useful. Subterror Behemoth Fiendus. Link 2 Earth Wyrm monster that requires 2 flip monsters. It gains attack equal to the combined original levels of Subterror monsters used for its link summon times 100. During your main phase, you can send one flip monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, send special summon one monster from your hand in defense position to the zone this card points to. Okay, so you can pitch your Toddler of Torments to special summon one of your rare Subterror monsters, and then you set the Toddler of Torment. Oh, okay. This card lets you special summon a... oh, no, it's a monster from your hand, not a monster from your graveyard. I thought I finally had figured out why you mill cards with this one. Okay. Once per turn, if a monster this card points to is flip face up, add one flip monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Ah! Once per turn, if a monster is flip face up, add one monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, so you can at least recover the card that you pitched. There we go. Spriggan's Call. Target one Spriggan's monster, one Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, and special summon it. Cool. Special summoning Fallen of Albaz during your opponent's turn is really good. During the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and one fusion monster from your graveyard, then target one Spriggan's Xyz monster you control. Attach one fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material from your extra deck, so that monster is material. Okay, so this allows you to attach your Sprint, the Iron Dash Dragon, to your X-Blower, and then you can just detach it for cost, and then Sprint's effect activates during the end phase. Is this good? No. It's a strategy, but it's not good. Man, there's still so many cards left in this box. Okay, let's speed run these. These are not going to be interesting. Spriggan's Brothers. If this card is sent from your hand or deck to the graveyard, you can target a Spriggan's monster in your graveyard and special summon it. If this card is in your hand, field, or graveyard, you can target a Spriggan's Xyz monster you control and attach to this material. Okay, so this card allows you to summon your Captain Sargas if it's in the graveyard, which is cool. Subterror Behemoth Voltelleric. You can target one set monster your opponent controls and take control of it until your next end phase if it's flip face up, which is hilarious. When a face-up monster you control is flip face down, if you control no face-up monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up defense position. Once per turn, you can change this card to face-down defense position. Really cool card. I don't know that it'll see any play, but it's an interesting effect. Spriggan's Booty, continuous spell card. If a face-up Xyz monster you control leaves the field by card effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls. Neither player can activate that effect monster's effects on the field this turn. You can send this face-up card to the graveyard to activate one Great Sand-Sea Golgoganda directly from your deck or graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. Cool. More activations of your field spell is necessary because the field spell is everything. Peter, you can attribute this card to target one Spriggan's monster in your graveyard, except Spriggan's Peter, and special summon it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Spriggan's Xyz monster you control and attach to this material. Fine. Subterror Nemesis Archer, level 3 Earth Fairy. At the start of the damage step, if this attacks opponent's face-down defense position monster and you control another Subterror monster, you can shuffle that opponent's monster into the deck. If this card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special summon one Subterror monster from your deck in defense position. Cool. Special summoning from your deck is really good. Spriggan's Bronga, level 8. If this card is in your hand, field, or graveyard, you can target a Spriggan's Xyz monster you control, attach this card's material. You can banish this card to one Spriggan's monster with a different name from your graveyard, add a Spriggan's card from your deck to your hand, which we don't have Tally Ho, so rip. I guess you had to watch. Spriggan's Rocky, if this card is normal special summon, you can target one Great Sand-Sea Golgoganda or one Spriggan's monster in your graveyard, except Rocky, add it to your hand. If this card is in your hand, field, or graveyard, you can target a Spriggan's monster you control, attach this card's material. You can only use each effect once per turn. And I think that's it for the Spriggan's cards. Except for Golgoganda. Okay, yeah. So, that's Spriggan's not interesting. Proof Finesse, the Tactical Trapper, level 4 Dark Fiend monster. If this card is normal special summon, you can banish one trap from your deck, increase this card's level by 1. You target one trap in either graveyard, banish it. If you do, increase this card's level by 1. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can set one of your banished normal traps. You can only use each effect once per turn. That's just a random card. It's not going to be used in anything. Proof of Pruffless. If you control no special summon cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon other monsters for the rest of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is normal special summon, you can immediately, after the effect resolves, tribute summon one monster. Cool. It's Monarch support. But we have not... I mean... Okay, we have a Monarch skill, so if you've been looking for this card to play in your Monarch deck, there you go. Enjoy, because Monarchs could be really good if they had a little bit more support, and I think this card is an excellent card to play in Monarchs as a 3-of. Dispatcherazzi, 2 effect monsters, 100 attack points, Dark Fiend. When another monster you control is targeted for attacks, you can change this card to an attack target to this card, perform damage calculation. When this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster if you do gain life points equal to half the monster's original attack points. Wait. Did they have this effect? Why do they have this effect? It's gaining life points. It's not burning. That's lame. This card's terrible. Magispector Tempest. When a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect would be activated, you contribute one wind monster you control, one wind spellcaster, negate the summoner activation if you do destroy the card. Cool. Good Magispector support. If you want to play Magispectors, this card's excellent. It's an Omni Negate. Or, well, not an Omni Negate. It's a special summon or monster effect negate, which is good. Jurassic Impact. If you control 2 or more dinosaur monsters in your life... excuse me. If you control 2 or more dinosaur monsters and your life points are lower than your opponent's, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. If you do, take 500 damage for each monster destroyed. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took until the end of the next turn. After this card is activated, neither player can normal or special summon. So it's a lockdown card that will just prevent your opponent from playing the game, which is great. Ignite Reload. Reveal any number of pendulum monsters from your hand. Shuffle them into the deck. Draw that many cards plus 1. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot draw by card effect. Cool. Random Ignite supports. I don't know what it's here for. There's not even any Pendulum cards in the deck. I guess it's for Triple Ds. Even though there's not any Triple D new, there's not any new Triple D Pendulum monsters. It is a Pendulum deck. Okay, fine, I guess. Great Sand Seagull Golgunda, field spell. All Spring and Succeeds monsters gain 1,000 attack points. If you control no Spring and Succeeds monsters, you can discard one Spring and card. Special summon a Spring and Succeeds monster from your extra deck. If a face-up Exceeds monster you control leaves the field by card effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls that cannot attack for the rest of the turn. Bad. Drac Impact. If you control a dinosaur monster with 2,500 or more attack, destroy all cards in the field. Limit 1, apparently. Dynamis Talon. Yay! We finally get Dynamis Talon. Another card that's been needed for a very long time. That's being thrown into this random box. I think that's the 4th card now. While this card has been activated, and when this card is activated, you can place 1 or 2 Dynamis Pendulum monsters from your deck in your Pendulum Zone, but you cannot Pendulum summon monsters until the end of the next turn, except Dynamis monsters. Once per turn, if this card is already face up on the field, you contribute 1 Dynamis monster, target 1 card your opponent controls, and return it to the hand. Very, very good card. Even though we only have 3 zones, this card is insane. Definitely play this card in Dynamist. Beat Cop from the Underworld. If this card is link summoned using 2 dark monsters with different names as material, it gains this effect. You contribute 1 monster, target 1 face-up card on the field, and place 1 patrol counter on it. You can only use this effect once per turn. If a card with a patrol counter will be destroyed by battle card effect, remove 1 patrol counter from it instead. Interesting effect. Beat Raptor. Limit 1. Negate the activation of monsters in the extra monster zone while this card is in the main monster zone. While this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 Beat Raptor from your deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, so they limited 1 it, so you can only play 1 copy. So all it does is negate the EMZ. I mean, you can special summon this card with either Baby Sarasaurus or Petite Ranodon, and it looks like dinosaurs don't really need the EMZ for anything, so this could be good, I guess. Alright, there you go. That's all the new stuff. It took me an hour. But what do I think? I think Resonators are a puzzle. I don't really know what you're supposed to do with this deck with the cards that we have currently. The skill is good. The cards are good, but we need actual pieces to go into. Hot Red is a fine card. Hot Red will do something, but I don't know that Hot Red and Fiendish Golem is enough. Maybe. I think the skill also gives you Fiendish Chain if you own it. Synchron's are disappointments. I was expecting some good cards here. We got Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, which is a really good card, but we don't have any targets for it. So, I mean, Stardust Warrior is not good enough. TG Stardust Dragon EX is not good enough. And it's not like we're going to make Quasar. So, yeah. This is awkward. UCT Dinos are fine. They're more expensive than I thought, but the deck will be just fine. Triple D was losing constantly, so these cards are definitely going to make Triple D more powerful than it was before. Subterrors look fun. Tindangles, there was only 2 Tindangle cards in the entire box, I think. Right? Yeah. So that really surprised me, that there's like only 2 Tindangle cards in the box. Really, Tindangles lose out because they have to dig for their boss monster in a box that's completely unrelated to them. But I'm sure that the people who want to play Tindangles also want to play Subterrors, so I don't think that's going to be super bad for them. And then Springens is terrible. Okay, there you go. My name is Strafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.